Hello guys, Fens here, and welcome to a Diablo 4 video. So Blizzard released a new video, and apparently it has the community in an uproar. I haven't seen it, but we're gonna watch it. So yeah, let's just get to it. Adventure with a dev, Belfry Sakara. So I guess it's a developer playing the dungeon. So let's see what we have.
Do we have any emotes?
I can taunt you.
Taunt me.
There are so many ways I can kill you.
That will be your last stupid mistake.
Apparently we have emotes. That's a weird start, isn't it? I'm sorry if I'm nitpicking, but that seems out of touch. Like, why? Who cares about emotes, man? Why? I mean, if they're having fun, I guess. But
Hi, I'm Deanie. I am a senior dungeon designer on Diablo 4.
senior dungeon design, okay.
An associate designer on Diablo 4. What are we playing today, Deanie?
So today, I wanted us to play Belfry Zakara because it is pretty cool.
So
Belfry
she made Belfry
is a
Zakara, I
dungeon you
guess.
find on the coast of Hawazar. It's pretty cool because it's the only dungeon that is got the kind of like Zac architecture going on, mixed with the lovely drowned themes all over the place. So
So you're
it
on,
makes it,
or
like, super unique and a super cool place to visit. So the tile sets are basically the look of, like, they're all the different like looks of the dungeons that we have in the game. You know, your standard caves or your crypts, or in this case these are like Cathedral of Light themed or Zacharoom themed. Our dungeon artists have this really cool thing they can do where they can add themes to stuff to make it stand out. So we've got like gore if we want like body parts and stuff like that, or
body bits.
like spider webs, things like that. This one, however, happened to get...
Yeah, so generally speaking, you're just making a bunch of assets that you're reusing over and over again in different contexts. And in order for us to not realize that, you add in like drowned theme, you add in spider theme, you add in gore theme, right? So it's essentially, it's all the same fucking tiles, more or less, but you just add a different coat of paint on. It's Greater Rifts all over again, but just for dungeons. But you did create 120 unique ones, but she's clearly just saying that they didn't. But yeah, okay.
A drowned theme, and it is the only dungeon of its type in terms of art.
I think that actually the drowned match very well with the Belfry Zakara theme, just due to the fact that what we'll find later is there are bells going on in the dungeon, and so everybody knows that there are drowned bells, and for them to be in a church with the church bells, it fits very well.
Are you telling me there are bells in this belfry, Zakara?
Yeah, I was supposed to say that's kind of...
What do you do?
So it's a little bit of
Okay.
level design with procedural creation with the tiles, as mentioned previously.
Oh, so that she's not art. She's okay. So she does level design. Okay. And what was she with the tiles? So I guess.
And then other times we're working with encounters or like adding little goodies on where to spawn shrines, as we currently see. And every now and then there will also be cursed shrines, and that's a fantastic event Deanie actually created.
I had help.
Wait. So I thought she was, because she was talking about art. She's a senior dungeon designer. I thought she was doing art for the dungeons. But she's apparently not just she's not an art person. She does the gameplay as well, because the cursed shrines are a gameplay feature, right? And she made them apparently. So did she make them for Diablo 3? Because there are cursed chests in Diablo 3. And you know what cursed chests in Diablo 3 are? You go click the chest and it tells you to kill 5 or 6 waves of enemies. That sounds familiar. You go click the chest, it tells you to kill 100 enemies, or just enough enemies to fill a bar. That sounds familiar. In Diablo 3 it's 100 enemies, in Diablo 4 it's a bar you fill. Or you go to the chest and there's an elite. I guess that's not the cursed shrines, but she made them for Diablo 4, I guess. I guess what she did was take the Diablo 3 system and make it randomly appear on shrines. Is that it? Is that what I'm getting at? Am I being harsh? Maybe.
Oh, well, I mean, everybody has help. It's a collaborative job. People will create an initial dungeon, and then another dungeon designer will come in and then wind up basically giving both critique and then also will make it better from there, and they'll understand, hey, this was like the core of the original idea, and keep that, and then we'll modify it to fit standards for the rest of the game on making sure, like, hey, killing all these monsters in this area is too large, so let's actually shrink it a bit.
You just buff density by like 50%. So, did they really do that? Like, this place is too large for this little amount of monsters. And you have apparently you have a standard that says that you went and fixed that, and now just a couple of days ago you buffed density by 50%. Are you saying you didn't do a very good job? Is that what's coming?
We still gotta go find another bell.
Yeah, we do a lot of
Oh, we still have to go find another bell. Yeah, I guess you're enjoying the objectives, huh? That sounds good, yeah.
love play tests. So when someone has a dungeon ready, they'll be like, "Hey, can people play test my dungeon?" And we actually have standing meetings specifically for like when someone has something that they want to have play tested, and we'll all get together and like play test it, and then we have a board where we keep like feedback and stuff like that, so you know, people can have like notes or whatever, and we'll talk about like what was good, what was bad, like what kind, like when we'd offer like suggestions on like things that could change or things that could improve it, stuff like that.
Okay, I can't. You guys are playtesting it? Really? You are playtesting it. Can we just take a moment here? Level 50, World Tier 1, regular dungeon. And you're playtesting it. Playing with a controller. Everybody on the Diablo team plays on a controller, apparently. I think when they have those campfire chat, all of them plays on controller. And these two do as well. Maybe it's for the video. But can we just real quick take a look here? Okay. We're going into a pack of mobs. This is the playtester. Look at her buttons.
Hey,
Jump. Okay, good.
can people
Lunging
play
strike,
test my
lunging strike.
dungeon?
You have full
We
rate.
actually
Lunging
have,
strike, lunging strike.
standing meetings specifically
Ground
for,
slam,
like,
lunging
when
like
someone
lunging
has
strike, lunging
something,
strike, lunging strike, lunging strike.
that they want
You
to
have
have play
full
tested, and we'll
fucking
all get
rage.
together and, like,
Where's
play
the
test
Ham
it,
of the
and then we
Ancient?
have a-
Look what she's hitting now. This is the playtester. Maybe she's just not paying attention.
a board where we keep like feedback and stuff like that.
She's
so,
just spamming A.
You know, people can have like notes or whatever, and we'll talk about like what was good, what
Not a
was bad,
single-
like, what kind
you're
of,
not
like,
even
when we'd
using
offer,
the
like,
abilities.
suggestions on like things that could change or things that could improve it, stuff like that. We try to.
She's not even using the fucking abilities. Like, I mean, I guess it makes sense. She made the cursed shrine. It makes sense that some of the waves only spawn like 3 fucking enemies, because otherwise the playtester would never get through them. They get overwhelmed if there was 5, because they're just spamming their generator at full fucking rage when they have spenders. I don't know what build she's playing, but I'm assuming she's playing something with Hammer of the Ancients. And I mean, let's be real, at level 50 you can't play that much of a build anyway, so I think it's fair to assume that Hammer of the Ancient would be a good button press.
Involve as many people as possible, and then like Josie said, usually
Please
at some
use it
point
just
we
once.
tend to, like,
There we
swap
go.
Designers on dungeons.
Oh no, Hammer of the Ancient makes them vulnerable, and she's not. Yeah, one
because
more.
collaboration is very important, and it also makes sure that, like, you know, if there's like bugs in the dungeon later, pretty much anyone can solve the bug because everyone is familiar with all the dungeons.
Exactly.
So it makes the process go a lot smoother. Oh, conduit shrine.
Oh, this is one of my favorite shrines. I love hopping around. And there's a bell. Okay.
Smash it. Smash it. Oh, you did smash it. Well, fine. Smash it without me. See if I care. I think the biggest challenge for this one was actually more art making it look good.
And the art team is doing a fantastic job. Like, hats off. I have no criticism about the Diablo 4 art, I don't think. If I had any criticisms, it would be that the corpses that are being absolutely destroyed and everything, they have underwear on. That would be the only criticism I have, but I understand why they have it, and it's just it would just make it more disturbing if they didn't, which is the point. But our team's doing great. Diablo 4 is, well, every Blizzard game is fucking carried by their art team. It's the gameplay that's fucking shit, which I'm thinking you two are kind of into. Like, one of them said she does level design, and well, if we just look at the level design real quick, the community has complained a lot about backtracking a lot, so that's a big fail. And we just got huge density buffs, so you failed there as well. Like, I don't understand why Blizzard is putting this video out. They just make them look bad. I saw a comment that they're just opening up these two to, like, they're just opening it up for fire from the entire community. And I agree. Are they just throwing them under the bus? Like, they're horrible at the game. And they're both in charge of things that are, or not in charge, they're both talking about designing things that the community fucking loathe. She's a senior dungeon designer. I'm assuming that also means nightmare sigils, and they're not having a great fucking thing. One of the, like, dungeon design, like, both of them say they are. She's a senior dungeon designer, right? So I'm assuming she has some sort of authority, hence the senior. And the other one says that she's working on, like, stuff like the density and backtracking, density, and just general just sameness of dungeons has been a fucking critique of everybody. And I don't like it. I'm not a fan. And also, holy shit, can you just please press Hammer of the Ancients just once?
But there were. I mean, some of it's also just like, you know, making sure it still like fits within like the area that it's in, and trying to find spots for those really big bells. Like, we had to make sure that like those.
Oh,
fit.
three unique or three unique, three elites. Let's go.
Making sure that usually our biggest challenges are trying to like reduce like
Hammer of the Ancients, man,
as much as possible.
Yep.
Come on.
I know it's the biggest headache that everyone has, so we're always looking.
Oh,
for
you sure
ways
old? Yeah. Hammer of the Ancient. You're full rage. No more lunching strike.
So, Beanie, how did you wind up going into game design?
Oh gosh, that's a long and storied question. I actually kind of always wanted to.
She's almost
be a game
2
designer.
potions left.
Like, it's been kind of my dream since the days of Nintendo. You know, back in like the 80s.
Hammer of the Ancients,
you know,
man. No
design
wonder
was
this
kind
takes
of a,
forever.
like, you had to know someone kind of thing. So, I ended up giving up on that initially and went to school for architecture instead.
Oh
Got
my
through most
God,
of an
come on,
architecture
press it.
degree, realized this is really not what I wanted to do. And then game design programs started popping up all over the place. So I hopped into one of those. I have died.
No.
Hold on. Let me see if I can go get
And
you.
then, yeah, so then I...
She died at level 50 in World Tier 1. She fought 3 elites and she never pressed her damage button once. Why would you release this? What? What? I don't know. I'm speechless. Why would you show me this? Who would edit this and think this is good content? This is definitely a good idea. Like, one of the main criticisms of not just Diablo 4 but WoW as well, Blizzard in general, is that the developers don't play their own fucking game. And you're showing me 2 designers, gameplay designers, playing on controllers, obviously, because Diablo 4 is just a fucking console port, I guess. And their cheeks at the game. There's no way these guys play the game. There's no way. Like, you'd know to press fucking Hammer of the Ancient if you play the game. There's no fucking shot that these guys actually play. What's the point of this? It's a marketing push, but are they just throwing them under the bus? Is that what's happening? Because I already was thinking that Blizzard don't play their own fucking games, and now you're showing me that they don't or can't. Like, if one was thinking that the Blizzard devs were incompetent, this is strengthening it. Like, you're just making me think that these two are incompetent. I don't think that's fair. I don't know. I think, like, making this video, editing this video, somebody should have noticed this doesn't look good. And whoever released this, fucking shame on you. This is... I can understand why these two are just being, like, they're just going to be... The community is vicious and completely inappropriate. They're going to get ripped apart. They're not going to enjoy being in this video, man.
I went to a school for game design and learned the basics that I needed to know.
Wait, how was she feared and allowed to res?
Got myself an internship somewhere, and then the rest is history.
Nice.
So how about you, Josie? How did you decide that this was the thing that you wanted to do? Make dungeons full of monsters.
Full of monsters? Let's be fair. Dungeons with a moderate amount of monsters at a decent distance apart.
Funnily enough, I actually also went to a College of Architecture, but underneath there, they actually had a visualization program, which included game design, because long story short, gaming software actually evolved from architecture software with
that's cool.
3D rendering and whatnot. And so there, under their game design program, I was able to pick up a part-time job as a game designer, initially thinking I wanted to be an artist, but over time I just fell in love with being able to design things and like putting things together and player interaction, really focusing on like experiences and making levels and environments that people have fun in.
Okay, so she's a level designer. Associate designer is what her title is, but she's not an artist. She makes she makes composition of dungeons. She is one of the ones to blame for the density being ass, which is unfair because she probably doesn't have any say. But she is the one of the designers that puts the tiles together and makes the dungeons. Okay, so. And you're releasing this just after you buff density by so much? You're releasing this when the community hates the backtracking?
I feel so like elated just due to the fact that being under NDA for so long, which granted I haven't been on this project as long as Dini has, but being able to finally be able to tell friends like, oh hey, here's the game, go try it, and like tell me what you think, and being able to see everybody just so happy with it. And
what? What did she say?
Elated just due to the fact that being under NDA for so long, which granted I haven't been on this project as long as Dini has, but being able to finally be able to tell friends like, oh hey, here's the game, go try it, and like tell me what you think, and being able to see everybody just so happy with it and taking
Everybody be so happy with Diablo 4. What's the Metacritic thing again? Ah. Surely she doesn't live in that bubble, right? Surely she doesn't live in that bubble. No, it must have been her friends, right? She told her friends, and all of her friends thought it was a good game, right? Surely that's what she did. It's not that you think that the Diablo 4 feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, right? Especially not for the position she's in, right? Right? Please.
Critique and like responding to it as fast as we can. Just overall loving to hear people boast about it and getting to basically flaunt like, hey, this is what I've been working on for the past long while.
My wife's
This is what I've been working. Shouldn't you be ashamed? I'm just. That sounds really harsh, but I'm sorry, but you did a piss poor job. I don't know if you specifically did, but your team did. The aspect of the game that you have been a part of is ass. You've had to remedy at least 2 major flaws in the things you've been a part of, which is dungeon level design. You just had to buff density by 50% across the board almost. Some more, some less. I think some of them were almost up to 70% margin, like 70% more mobs. And others were obviously less, but I think what they said was about 50%. How can you be proud of that? Like, you're in charge of dungeon level or not in charge, sorry, that's wrong. You're a part of a team doing mob density, and you literally put in 2/3 too little, or 2/3 of the amount that should be there. 1/3 less than should have been there, at least according to what you've put it up to, yeah? Like, you literally took and made a dungeon. You put in mobs. You said you were focused on whether or not, like she said earlier, that they would, like, having this amount of monsters in this spell space doesn't feel good, so we shrunk it, right? And you still needed to add another fucking 50% on top of what you put in. You only put in 2/3 of what needed to be there. Isn't that a mistake large enough that warrants a bit of, like, shame, I guess? Also, again, you're a level designer, and that's the thing you like, and that's the team you've been a part of, and you had to fucking revisit all the dungeons to make backtracking less. Like, just literally those 2 things you've talked about yourself, that is what you've been part of. Shouldn't you be ashamed of the performance that your team has done with those major flaws? I think I would be. What about something like, because she said she worked on encounters as well, but I'm not sure if when she said encounters she meant, because she went right into the pillars or the shrines, right? So maybe it's in that, but she talked about encounters. Does that mean she also had a hand in, like, fucking, probably not, right? But mob design with the freeze and the CC and all that shit? Probably not, right? Probably not. But I would assume that she'd probably placed the mobs, right? To some extent, decided which mobs. If you are a level designer, I would assume you also have some hand in which mobs go where. So I guess the packs that are just CC machines, she also has a part in, which is a huge criticism. But at least the density and the fucking backtracking is definitely what her team has been a part of. She said so herself. And now she's, like, proud about making massive mistakes in 2 of the areas. I don't know, man.
family is huge on Diablo, so it's been a lot of them, like, asking me like where everything is and like where all this stuff is hiding, which I'm like, well, I can tell you about the dungeons. It's about as far as I get. No, it's been pretty cool though. Like it's
Wait, yeah, clearly she doesn't play the game. Like, I'm sorry, but she clearly doesn't play the game. You're a designer, and the only thing you know is the part of the game that you've designed, which are the dungeons. She knows nothing else. Clearly, you don't play the game then. I mean, I guess you could argue that she only does dungeons because that's the meta in Diablo 4, I guess, but she doesn't. There's no way she plays the game. She hasn't hit Ham of the Engine more than like 3 times the entire fucking dungeon. I don't understand why Blizzard would release this video. This just makes me like, oh yeah, you have 2 game designers that doesn't know how to play the game. One of them is proud of the contribution to mob density and what's it called, and level design that had to be majorly reworked. I mean, that would be a failure in my book, but maybe I'm reading into it. And the other one doesn't know anything about the game other than what she designed. Why would you release this? Like, all the power to them. Let them enjoy their lives the way they want. Let them enjoy the games the way they want. And I'm happy that they have their dream jobs. But I wouldn't put this. Are they just throwing them under the bus?
They don't often get together to play games, so they've got like a Discord server going, so it's kind of cool like watching them all like go through and actually get together and like, you know, play the game together and stuff. So it's been kind of a mini family bonding moment.
I think the other thing is like this game is so expansive that initially I was thinking, oh, I worked on it for so many years, I'm not gonna play it as much whenever the game fully releases, but I've been pleasantly surprised. Like, the game is so expansive. Like, while I've worked on dungeons, the overworld alone, like, there's so much content there, and
there's nothing to do in the game.
there's so many other dungeons I just haven't worked on. There's always content to go look forward to in playing.
There's nothing to do in the game. What do you mean there's all... Well, I guess if you're playing level 50 characters in World Tier 1, there's plenty of content, I guess.
So we're at the Drowned Sea Hag. As you can see, she's quite the lady.
Is she going to use Ham of the Ancient on her?
And she loves making your life miserable.
Yeah, she leaves puddles on the ground that you have to make sure you don't step on or get pushed into by the waves rolling by. Like that.
She was actually the big boss of the BlizzCon demo back in, was it 2019 or whatever, when we announced the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was what everyone fought. We had this like cool sequence with a cave that was like flooded, and you had to like drain the
She's stunned and she's not doing damage to it. What?
water, and you'd find her at the end
She is stunned and she's just spamming hard stop?
or whatever. So she is one of many bosses that we have floating around. She is also one tough SOB.
I remember the vampire boss being also quite difficult as well.
Oh, Bloodsucker. Alright, can you stop and let me hit you, please?
We got her nearly halfway.
No. They didn't just call the dungeon bosses difficult. You're level 50 in World Tier 1 fighting a 49 boss and you're calling them rough? You're calling them difficult? You've only done about half her HP? Yes, because neither of you wants to press your fucking damaging ability. If you have to lunging strike her down, yes, of course it's gonna take a fucking year. Like, has she pressed Ham of the Ancient once?
There we go.
That's good. I'm running out of I'm running low on health potions. I gotta get more. I feel like I am average at games.
You're average at games? I hope you're not average at Diablo. Dude, this video is not good. Why would you do this? I'm so distraught. Like, I've lost all faith, man. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Shame on you, Blizzard marketing department. This is dog shit. Like, these two players are bad. I don't know. Like, maybe they're good developers. I don't know. But what you're showing me doesn't exactly put my faith in that. Like, I've watched her for 10 minutes and she's pressed Ham of the Ancient, which I think is her main damage. She's pressed it like 3 times. She's fought an entire boss and she hasn't spent any rage. She's just lunging, striking away. The only button she presses outside of a fucking ult is a... No, sorry, outside of lunging strike is her ult. And I guess she leaps a bit. Are you trying to completely destroy any faith I have? This is disgusting. I don't know why you would do this.
I don't know. It kind of depends. Like, one of the cool things about our dungeon group is that we all kind of have, like, different...
Also, they just said that the bosses are difficult. And they literally just buffed their HP by like 50%. Again. It's just like the other ones said. Both of them said that this boss was hard. And she's like, I'm really proud of my work. And she's been working on monster density that had to be buffed by 50%. And like level design in general, where backtracking all of the dungeons had to have a huge overhaul done in order for them to eliminate backtracking. And now they're saying that the dungeon bosses are difficult, and they were just buffed by like 50% HP.
Different games that we like and different games that we're good at versus not good at, or like, you know, some of us are a little more casual, some of us are a little more hardcore, and it's kind of cool because then we can try and find this. Like,
that was a good leap. I'll give a credit where credit's due.
To make sure that, you know, everyone is having.
Please hit Ham of the Ancient just once in this boss fight.
Their gaming preferences are. It's kind of a nice dynamic to have, especially when you're making content. If everyone has like the same temperament towards the games they like and how they like to play them, well, then everything ends up one note. But when you have designers with different opinions, then you can, like, you know, find the balance between what everyone likes, make the appropriate compromises, and then more people get to have fun with your stuff because you're trying to cover more of your audience.
I think what she just said there is a huge fucking mistake. What she just said is you have designers with different ideas and different stuff, and then you're trying to cover more ground. I think that is why Diablo 4 is so mediocre at best. Because you're not specializing in anything, you're not aiming for anything specific, you're just trying to please as many people as possible. And that just leads to, sure, I think the casual player base are pretty happy with Diablo because they're never going to reach level fucking higher than level 60 or something. They're just going to play it for a bit and then fuck off. And they're just going to, oh, the skills look cool and shiny, the combat is kind of fluent. But there is no end game in your game. There's zero end game. The only thing you've made is a leveling system called Nightmare Sigils, and they said that as well. Nightmare Sigils, I thought, is the only content in the game, and I thought that the idea was that they were endgame content. Bad endgame content, but I thought they just, like, but no, it's a leveling. So the only endgame content they have in the game is Lilith. Everything else is leveling. There's no once you reach level 100 in Diablo, you're done with the game. There's no point in playing anymore. You're done. That's not how it used to be. I don't like that that's how an ARPG is, but I guess maybe it's the same in PoE. It is, right? Most people don't reach max level, right? This video is a bad idea, man. Whoever made this that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And we beat the boss!
Oh, wow.
I really want to make a fanfare, but it's the wrong genre, so.
You finally beat the boss. Yay. Dude, the community has literally been saying that the bosses are so piss easy that they don't do anything. They just get one shot, and you're happy you beat it, but I guess you didn't press your fucking spenders even more. I'm growing. I'm heated. I'm getting... Why would you show me this? This is...
Do we have any emotes?
We have...
Oh, here's
say
the
hello.
emotes.
I can taunt you.
Taunt me.
There are so many ways I can kill you.
Alright.
But you're only using Heartstopper.
Alright, fine.
This will be your last.
I will be your last stupid mistake.
Well, thank you, Dean, so much for playing. And
Yes, thank you for playing with me. I know we do this on a daily basis, but this is a special occasion because we've got friends this time, and they got to experience this with us. Thank you.
I don't think you have many friends in the audience. I'm sorry, but I think you're gonna really hate being in this video. Because, well, I don't care to comment on their whatever. Like, people are gonna roast them for their appearance, I guess, but that's just fucking, you're just being an absolute disgusting piece of trash. Like, it doesn't matter how they look for what they're doing. The way they play the game and the way they talk about the game is just like, the one in the red shirt is like proud of what she's done with level design in there. I think you should be kind of ashamed when you make mistakes that large. And she's like, everybody's so happy. I'm hoping she was talking about her friends, but the general consensus of the fucking community is that Diablo 4 bad. D4 bad. Like, how can you... and she's average at games. You didn't... How many times did you press... I kind of want to go through it again and see how many times I can count her pressing Hammer of the Ancients.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for playing our game. We're loving all the positive feedback from it, and
You're loving all the positive feedback from it. How much of that are you getting?
it helps keeps us going and make more stuff for you, and there's plenty more stuff to come.
Thank y'all so much.
Bye.
Bye.
All the positive feedback? There can't be much of that. Like, I don't know, man. This is... Oh, this has me... Ooh, I don't like that. This is... Ooh, that is bad, man. I don't understand why you would release this video, Blizzard. That's not good. Like, these two are gonna get torn apart. Should we check the comments? Do we dare? Do we dare check the comments? Watching Blizzard destroy every IP I grew up playing one at a time slowly is saddening. Blizzard just sacrificed these two right in front of our eyes? Yep. Blizzard should be ashamed of themselves for putting these two in the line of fire. 100% Blizz will use the dislike ratio in comments here to call the fan base toxic just to shield themselves from legit criticism of the game. Absolutely mind-blowing. I've lost all hope for D4 and Blizzard. This is the last time I'll ever spend money on another game from them. They're doing a great job promoting PoE in last epoch. Well done, Blizz PR team. It was unnecessarily cruel to throw your employees under the bus like this, but this was certainly an illuminating video. Well, I've spent years wondering what is wrong with Blizzard, and now we understand everything. Incredible. Don't let their bad gameplay distract you from the fact that these two are being used as lightning rods so that Blizzard can dismiss any and all criticism as bigotry, sexism, etc. Shame on Blizzard for throwing these two under the bus. They know what they're doing and it's sick. Blizzard is really shooting itself in the head every single day, but at least they have a diverse dev team. The fact that they actually uploaded this is actually insane. I agree completely. Since I already quit the game, I want to see more of them for fun. Next time, let them play tier 50 Nightmare. I'll make them try to manage their stash. They would not finish that dungeon. The more videos they release, the more it truly wears over. Dude, there's nothing here. This video just needs 3 to 5 years of patching to be a good watchable video. Ain't no way Blizzard recorded this, edited it, watched it, went through whatever legal PR bullshit channels that exist, saw this and thought this would be great to post. Dude. Oh, here's a rip. I feel like I'm average at games. This woman is so far below average, it's astonishing that she made it to senior level designer. Just let the Microsoft acquisition go through already so they can put Blizzard out of misery like they did with Halo and what is this, 343i or 343i? I don't know what that is. Oh crap. Level designers are essentially the hub of all assets. They are the ones who piece everything together, like monsters from the combat designers, art assets from environment designers, interactables from system designers, and the list goes on. And the list goes on the on. They are supposed to play the game. Oh no. I hope he's wrong, but I don't know enough about game development. They are supposed to play the game more than anyone else in the project, probably including QA. And yes, I am a game level designer with 15 plus years experience. I've applied to the G4 team at least. Oh, you might be a little bit salty though. 3 times during the last few years, and none of my applicants got any feedback. Knowing that these are the people they end up hiring is just fascinating. I'm pretty sure many other talented with even more experience who try to apply to G4 probably feels the same way. So I don't know if this is true. Then oh crap. If this is true, then fucking hell, man. He might be a bit salty that he didn't get the job though. But holy shit. Dev spamming basic abilities with full resource bar, then dying on world tier 1 to level 50 normal dungeon. Yep, it all makes sense now. Dude, they're just really throwing these people under the bus, huh? I am not a fan of this. This is... I guess you could say this was an illuminating experience. But illuminating kind of implies that there would be light. And all I see is darkness before me. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I don't think I did. Hope I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.